I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. It is Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. UFC 302 to go over. UFC Louisville is a card that's happening at a point in time on this Saturday.
Are you telling me UFC Louisville is not fucking stacked?
Of all the cards I've seen, it's one of them.
By the way, you almost Ariel Helwani yourself.
I almost
there.
Ariel Helwani myself.
For the people who don't know.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. It was literally, it was COVID. I mean, you guys know our intro.
Josh was like, it was COVID.
It was vid season. It was vid season in 2020 where Mike Tyson was going to fight Roy Jones. And they had a press conference. They had a virtual presser. And
was it that one?
Huh?
Was it that one?
It was that one. Because we
did
did it.
Yeah,
I did a bunch of that stuff.
You're right.
During COVID. Right. But so I got on there and Ariel Helwani was like, "Yo, we got Joff Evanoff from Courtside Soundoff." First question. And I'm like, dude, you just fucking call me Joff Evanoff?
He did correct it. He did.
Yeah, he went Josh Evanoff. I'm like,
I don't know how he fucked it up. Like I really looking back at it, I'm like, how did he fuck it up?
He was probably reading Josh Evanoff and read it too fast in his head, and not read it too fast in his head, like thought about saying Evanoff and just kind of mashed them together. Joff.
I guess.
I don't know. Fuck him. Anyways, not much. I don't got any beef with Ariel. But anyways, this is episode 270. Before we break into all the action, we got two quick sponsors of the show. You guys know by now. Rogue Energy and ELYXR. Rogue Energy keeps me fueled up whether I'm at the gym doing this show. No matter where I am, though, they get me to the finish line. They can help you with code Soundoff and check out for 10% off. ELYXR, the exact opposite. They're going to get you really high with their Delta 8 products. Code Soundoff for once again for them as well. Code Soundoff, 10% off, all caps at checkout. Rogue Energy and ELYXR.com. Well, last Saturday night from Newark, New Jersey, which, it's a city. I've heard nothing but bad things about New
Hell
Jersey.
On earth.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody say like, "Oh yeah, I went to New Jersey and I had a fun time." But anyways, in the main event, Islam Makhachev defeating Dustin Poirier by 5th round submission. Look,
shine bright like a diamond.
Yeah, man. He did. For a couple rounds there, he was shining bright like a diamond, man. Came out in round 1, and it looked like it was going to be the fight that everybody expected. He got taken down. He almost got subbed. Round 2, though, he got taken down again, but he found a way out. He started stuffing the takedowns. He started to make it a brawl. He started to make it a scrap. Heading into round 5, one judge had it tied 2-2. Don't necessarily agree with that judge. But, and every judge had given at least one round to Poirier. Going into round 5, it's close, it's intense. Islam gets a takedown and gets a submission. Dustin taps, and that's it.
The story ends.
The story ends with no champ. I mean, he has an interim title at home, but no undisputed title to his name. You look, and then he gets on the mic afterwards, and he says what we thought. He says, "I don't know if this is it, but I think it's going to be. Thank you, Joe Rogan. Thank you to my grandma, my mom, my wife, my daughter." And seemingly calls it a career there. Not definitive, but more than likely. Look, man, give me your thoughts on Saturday night as a whole. Islam's win, Poirier's potential retirement, so on and so forth.
Oh, man. I put it out on Twitter. I think I said, God, what did I say? I'm trying to remember. I could probably put it up real quick. But I think with Islam, I was like, okay, yeah, it wasn't easy. Good fight. Got it done. For Dustin, is it the end? Question mark. I think I did what I wrote.
No.
Which, if it is, I mean, look, I'll admit it. Selfishly, I want to see Justin Gaethje Dustin one last time. If he comes back for one more, let it be that one. They could both retire on that one. Both comfortably retire on that one. Call it quits. Make money. Put that on a big card. So be it.
They could headline an event.
They could headline event too. If not, if that is the end, so be it. He leaves no questions unanswered, which is always the thing we love to see with fighters, right? Yeah. Sadly, I always brought this example up, and I'm gonna bring it up again, Josh.
Yeah.
Lightweight Joseph Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Joe, in a way, it's different, but you know what I mean.
It's different in a way because Joe B also fought for it in WEC and didn't win it, and he didn't. but there are definitely a lot of similarities. Poirier got the interim belt. There are small differences, but yeah, I agree with you. The overall comp.
Yeah. And also, like, you know what's even more heartbreaking? Like, every time Dustin did get there, he got subbed every single time. It was so, like, the pain, man. The fucking pain of how it happened. And, like, I even remember going into that Oliveira fight, I thought that was him. Like, that was going to be his win. Dude, but, like, after this fight, like, it just makes certain people look better.
Yeah.
Like, it goes to show, like, dude, holy fuck. Oliveira really was that fucking guy in that run.
Yeah. Habib, too.
Not even just that. Also, Volkanovski. Holy shit.
Yeah.
He really did do that good of a fucking job over a year ago now in Australia, right?
Down under.
Down under. I mean, all the other stuff that come out since then because of this win. Holy fuck, dude. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
By the way, we got to address it. Islam Makhachev calling for a second title already. But I will say, there is still one more man in this division for him.
And that man is Arman Tsarukyan.
Armenia's pride.
Who was 22 years old, stepped up on 3 weeks' notice to fight Islam Makhachev back in 2017 in Russia. And gave him one of the toughest fights of his career. Look,
7 years later.
7 years later, they're running it back. And look, I will give Islam credit. He said, look, I want the double title, but I'll fight whoever Dana wants me to, And
Dana was pretty firm on that's not next.
Yeah, exactly. And it, quite frankly, shouldn't be.
By the way, he was like, how he's always like, we don't plan fights next. I don't always, but...
I'm not thinking on the night of.
But they did ask him about a lot of fights, but I will say that was one that he was like dead set on, like, yeah, that's not happening next,
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, like it was I want to see Makhachev Tsarukyan 2. That's a fight I've wanted to see for a very long time. I think if there's one guy who can give him a fight, it's Tsarukyan. And if there's one guy who I could see beating him, it's Tsarukyan. He's the only guy. You know what I mean?
The only guy with what we have left. No disrespect to the division.
Yeah,
but as far as guys that I'm like, I think they have a chance.
Yeah.
It is Arman Tsarukyan.
Yeah, and like there were other fights I do want to see. Like I'd love to see a Gaethje fight. I'd like to see how he deals with the power. I'd like to see him fight maybe Max. If Max wants to really make a go at 155. Yeah. Maybe. But outside of that, even then, those aren't guys I could see beating Islam. That's completely different. Yeah. So for me personally,
I mean, Josh,
the Tsarukyan fight, and then maybe the winner of Bilal Leon. I wouldn't have an issue.
Just you wait. Mateus Gamera 2020-25 lightweight champion.
Yeah, if only, right? Could you imagine?
That'd be so fucking random. You know what I feel is gonna happen? I feel like we're gonna have like a Sean Strickland type champ in 155 eventually. Like I really didn't see coming, and I was like, holy shit, this guy actually became champ.
That'd be really funny, but I don't think anybody will ever top Sean Strickland.
No. But you know what I mean? I feel like we'll eventually have another guy who kind of comes like, holy fuck, they just really did that.
Like, holy shit, dude.
Renato Moicano.
Mateus Rebecki. He really brought it back.
Renato Moicano, 155 champ. Money Moicano, he was not playing.
Money Moicano. Dan Hooker? No, but anyways.
Michael Chandler just knocked out Islam Makhachev for the 155 title?
Oh, God.
A month after defending his title.
But yeah, dude, just to kind of close it out, man. Look, Dustin Poirier, he did not win the title, but you're talking about an all-time great still. The rare guy who never, yes, he held the interim title. No, it's not the same as an undisputed. But at the same time, dude, the resume speaks for itself. I mean, he's the guy who ended Max Holloway's insane winning streak whenever he was undefeated for years and handed him the loss. You know what I mean? And I know that fight was an underdog too, from what I remember. I mean, just an insane resume. I mean, you also have Justin Gaethje on there. You have Eddie Alvarez on there, the Underground King, who is super underrated in the all-time lightweight discussion, which we'll be doing in a couple minutes. I mean, even I'll use this as an example. If it goes down to this last win, the BSD fight would end perfect way. If he retired right there and didn't get the title shot, would have been perfect. Facing a guy, huge underdog, By
the way, with a beautiful record of 30-9.
Yeah.
Still single-digit losses. Yep. Lots of wins. The one no contest in there, which was the Eddie
Alvarez first fight. UFC 211 Dallas.
What happened there? Was it a IPO?
It was a banger. They were going back and forth, especially in the second. And Dustin rocked Eddie. Eddie comes back, rocks Dustin. Nearly gets to finish, lands a knee. I think Dustin had one hand down and couldn't continue. But it was a banger fight. Both fights were bangers. So let's just go through his resume real quick. BSD, Chandler, McGregor twice, Dan Hooker, Max Holloway twice, Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, Anthony Pettis, Jim Miller, Bobby Green, Joe Duffy, Yancy Medeiros, Carlos Diego Ferreira. Even older guys like Eric Koch in there. Jonathan Brookins, who I believe won tough. Like, there was so many. Josh Grisby back in there. Remember Josh Grisby? Remember that guy? Look, just incredible fighters. So many of them. An all-time fun fighter. An all-time great. And if that's his last fight, there's no better way for him to close it out. Especially that dude. That fourth round was the stuff of legends. I remember he got taken down early, and it looked like, we're like, fuck, dude. Like, he had a nice second round, but that's probably it. In the fourth round, he got taken down. And I'll remember this until I died. Gets up, hits the switch off the cage. Nearly gets himself straight into an armbar. Gets out, gets up, pulls up the shorts, and starts talking shit, and starts landing on Islam. Busted him open, won the round, outlanded him. And you're like, this is a guy who's turning 36 in a couple of months, who's already lost a title. That's a man who had nothing else to fight for, and he fucking fought like it. And that's the type of shit legends are made of. And for that, tip of the cap to Dustin the Diamond Poirier. Excellent shit on Saturday night. And if the guy goes down as it, no better way. But we're going to go, I'll be honest here. Usually 203. 203.
You're a few years behind.
I know, dude. It is 2016 again, my brother. We're back. No,
You're almost a decade behind.
I know. Anyways, UFC 302. For the most part, I feel like it was ass. Is that a fair thing to say? 11
Are we talking
decisions.
about strictly about the pay-per-view or the card as an entirety?
Yes. We'll talk about the whole. I guess I didn't. That was a dumb. Yes to the second question. We're gonna talk about it as a whole. As a whole, I'd give it like probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10. That was not worth the money.
Damn,
outside of the main event. I mean, the main event raised. You know what? That's not fair. The main event raises it to at least a 6.
It was at least a 6.
But the rest of the card beyond the main event, and probably Kevin Holland in jail tonight made it.
Hey, I will say it. Bazil Hafez.
Oh, you're right. That was a banger. That was a banger. I'll give you credit.
Eileen Perez, Justin Edwards opened up the show.
I love Eileen Perez.
Is that Daniel Cormier? Did you see that clip, by the way?
I did.
You know.
Do you see the actually? What's his name? I can't think of his name. The Karate Combat president.
Oh God,
was in her corner.
Well, because he runs the goat shed where she trains.
Yeah, correct. And he was the one whenever she was twerking in the post fight. He was like.
Not even just that, but he was like, biggest ovies.
I gotta be honest, I kind of love that guy. Ever since I saw him on MMA
he's
fighting,
just a Chad.
He's like my favorite type of guys. Just like dudes rock. You know what I mean? I saw him on Ariel Helwani. He was talking about how like, yeah, Ariel, I actually haven't drinking water in 7 years. I drink exclusive. So I do my testosterone, I do my steroids, and I also drink a lot of juice. I'm a juicer. And he's like, but I do not drink water. I do not do it. And I'm like, dude, this guy fucking rules.
He might be dying.
But yo, he's gonna have his piss is gotta be ridiculous. I know that he's gonna have fucking he tries to piss into a cup, the shit melts. You know what I mean?
He probably drinks a certain level of water. He has to be lying.
No way. Anyways, jokes aside.
That guy definitely pisses excellency.
Anyways. So because UFC 302 is not that great of a card as a whole, even if you're including the main event, we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of something fun today. We're gonna rank the top 5 UFC lightweights of all time. Now, granted, this is not in any particular order. This is just our top 5 guys who we think are the best of all time.
Give us your top 5 too, by the way,
and give us your top 5 down in the comment section below, or at least give us some of your guys who you think top 3, something like that.
Maybe guys we forgot.
Maybe guys we forgot, stuff like that. I'll go and hand it off to you, my man. Of your top 5, remember this is no particular order. Out of your top 5, who is your top 5 lightweights of all time?
So for me, undisputedly, you got to have Habib in there. There's no question about it. Undefeated, dominant,
29-0.
Basically lost no rounds outside of the one to Conor.
He lost 1 round unanimously to Conor. That is correct.
Yeah.
Round 3.
And now Islam Makhachev.
You're not you don't like him, but you got to do it.
You know, it is what it is. But hey, fuck dude, that I gotta give him credit though. That ending sequence at the end was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah.
For me, how the fuck can you not have this guy on your list?
Okay.
Charles Oliveira.
Yep.
You know,
Do Bronx.
Never forget Oliveira era.
The Oliveira era was one of the most fun times in combat sports.
Once it's gone, you miss it. Frankie Edgar.
Oh, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Dude, it was David and Goliath almost every time, bro. He's a smaller guy going in there, fighting at lightweight. Probably a lot of old newer fans didn't even know he fucking fought at lightweight.
I'd be willing to bet. Yeah, I mean, he was.
People probably only maybe like newer fans maybe know for the featherweight. Maybe
you see that picture of him standing next to Islam, and like because they trained together, or whatever, and it's like holy fucking shit, dude.
This guy
like,
was lightweight champ,
was a fucking champion at that weight class.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's not even like, and some people might be listening to this and they're thinking like, oh, so this was like 2002 or something. No, it was 2011 when Frankie.
By the way, I am going slight cop out on my last answer. I'm doing Eddie Alvarez / Benson. You can interchange them both. I'm having a hard time deciding.
I hate that.
I am, but I'm having a hard time to decide who to put in.
All right, fine. I like that list. I got 3 of those guys myself.
I feel like I personally have to keep the 4. Yeah. The fifth slot, I should say, not necessarily 5th place, is kind of giving me a hard time.
Yeah. No, I got you. I struggle with the 5th place as well. But for me, I share 3 of those guys on my list. I share Khabib Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev, and Charles do Bronx Oliveira. I feel like those 3 are pretty easy, honestly. Incredible runs from all 3. Very dominant, especially during their prime. But look, I do have 2 differences. At number 4, I have the prodigy, BJ Penn.
Someone out there's like the governor of Hawaii.
Yeah, politician, BJ Penn.
The guy who went, 16-7?
He went 16, 14, and 2, all right, with a no contest in 16, there.
14.
It's one of those. It's like one of those things that's like if you
guy who got healed by Ryan Hall. There's someone out there.
Yeah, dude. It's one of those things where it's like if you just look at somebody's record, you can't tell how good they were. But like BJ Penn was a featherweight who fought at fucking heavyweight because it was the early 2000s. He's like, fuck it. It seems like fun. I'll fight Lyoto Machida.
Right?
Fuck it. You want me to go and fight fucking Hodger Gracie at 205 pounds? Fuck it. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck. Like, so I have BJ Penn in there. Great, excellent during his prime, very well rounded. One of the few guys who I think you could take from the 2000s and put in today, and they'd be, a contender. And then my 5th place, El Kukui, Tony Ferguson. I think Tony, even though similar to Poirier, he never got the undisputed title. I think his situation's a lot different though, because he was the interim champion whenever Conor was off doing boxing, and we didn't think he would ever fight again. So I think it was a legitimate interim title, at least in my opinion. Even excluding the interim title, the resume is insane. Pettis, Cerrone, Kevin Lee, just guys like that. I got to give it to Tony Ferguson for me personally. But yeah, that's my top 5. I did want to put in Eddie Alvarez a lot. I really wanted to put in Benson. I really want to put in guys like that. But I just couldn't do it. I even thought about being like a little bit of a prick and throwing in Gomi or Takanori Gomi or Jens Pulver or something. Joaquim Hansen. Maybe RDA. I mean, and then obviously Poirier was in the discussion too, but that's my top 5. Drop us your top 5 below, guys. Drop us something, man. I think it's fun to have this discussion because before we even started filming, we were racking our brains trying to think of like the top 5 guys.
Also, I wonder if like people will come to like a consensus list or we'll see like some of the similar names. I think like I said, undoubtedly we'll see plenty of Khabib and Islam in there now.
Yeah, which makes sense.
But yeah, I'm curious to see if anybody drops any other compelling kind of arguments or points. Yeah. And I'm sure we can rally back and kind of say like, oh, this is kind of where most people ended up at.
Yeah. Regardless, though, look, said it earlier, 302 was not a great card. We'll go down to the co-main event. Sean Strickland, there was definitely, it felt like whenever he was like kind of on his last 2 fights, rising to the title and fighting for the title and the title fights, it felt like he was kind of like, I want to say leveling up, but he knew how important that was, and he was like, all right, I'm going to fucking go for it, and so on and so forth. This looked like a win in advance type of Sean Strickland. Like, hey, I need a win to get to the title, and I'm going to fight really safe.
By the way, I need to burst that bubble now, and I'm just going to be honest with the guy. Yeah, it's not going to happen, dude. Like, yeah. We pretty much know at this point that Dricus, and kind of Dana unintentionally confirmed it too at the presser, that it's going to be Dricus and Izzy.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we have Robert Whittaker Chimaev going down, and if Chimaev is to win that, then the winner between the title fight will fight Chimaev more likely than not. Yeah. And if Chimaev doesn't win, more likely than not, there'll be a title eliminator, I'm assuming, between Robert Whittaker and Strickland. And if not, Strickland will more likely than not fight the loser of the 85 title.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what, he's gonna have to wait and fight again, more likely than not. So yeah, I would be very shocked if Sean gets a title shot like after any of those scenarios.
Well, and also, I mean, that's just like one scenario. Another scenario, Izzy Dricus is a war, and Izzy wins, and they're like, all right, Dricus, rematch time. Because they could do. Like,
I think they could, but I don't think they would. I think because obviously, because Sean now has history with Dricus, has history with Izzy. You know, he could fight those two fights, and it builds up a great story. It's a lot of depending on what goes down. I think for Sean, his best case scenario to get to the title quicker is for Whitaker to win.
Yeah.
So that way he can more likely not get pushed straight into the title shot, rather fight the loser of the 85 title to get to the title.
Yeah. Well, because I think if Whitaker wins, he probably gets the shot.
You think they give it to Whitaker?
No, I mean like Strickland gets a shot, I should say. Like,
yeah, I mean there's a high probability he does. I'm not 100% sure if they do because they could milk the cow for what it's all worth and make him fight the loser of that because it's like, well, you know, there's history. Maybe if history gets controversy, if it's Izzy, well, there's a storyline. You know, there's a lot of factors, I think.
Yeah, I just think it comes down to like, let's say like there's just so many hypotheticals, but I think if Chimaev wins, no matter what, he gets a title shot. He's just such a big draw. People have been ready to see him fight for the title for a while now. And if you remember, that was the whole thing. Like, you beat Kamaru. It's a middleweight title eliminator. He beat Kamaru. They didn't give him the shot anyway. You know what I mean? So
and that's what I'm telling you. If Chimaev wins, like he'll most definitely have to fight the loser of the 85 title
for sure. And the thing with Whitaker is it's like both guys. It's kind of funny. Strickland and Whitaker. Let's say like they both win. They both have history with both the guys in the title fight. But
you know what's crazy? But they never fought each other.
They've never fought each other. But also Whitaker lost badly to both guys. Now, granted, the second Adesanya fight was very close, but it got knocked out by the first in the fight with Dricus. Got knocked out. Sean nearly beat Dricus. Some people thought he did. Many people thought he did, and then he did beat Izzy. So he has that leg over him. So, but as far as this fight kind of, I mean, I want to say this fight sucked with Paulo Costa, but
kind of a letdown.
It was a split decision win by Sean. Split decision because fucking Stevie Wonder was was down there.
Oh my goodness! I talked about this, man. I predict these things.
Yeah, they had fucking. Oh my god, dude.
You're telling me, Josh, your scorecard was not the same as mine? Did you not have 49-46 Paulo Costa? Jesus Christ, Josh. I mean, the discrepancy in these scorecards is fucking appalling.
Yeah, I mean, if you're being generous, you can find a round for Paulo.
You know something? Actually, way back in the day, Al Qaeda was actually going to bomb the English bench during a World Cup game. And, there were some legendary players on that, Josh. I know you don't know who I'm going to be talking about here, but Michael Owen, Rio Ferdinand, David Beckham. Yeah. Some legendary players that would have been lost on that day if Al Qaeda would have bombed them against their game. I believe they're playing against Iran. Mm-hmm. I don't think we'd have an issue if we bombed the judge's desk during this fight. In game.
Dave Torelli, we're looking for you. Dave Torelli, we're coming for you. Like, just like,
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know. I'm not gonna finish it. I don't got that. I don't got that.
That
clout.
Booker T.
I don't got the clout. But anyways, yeah. I mean, Sean Strickland. That fight happened, man. I mean, that fight. I don't know what to say about it. Like, because like.
It was just a little. You kind of wanted more out of Paulo. I think that's what it said.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right?
Sean did what Sean would. You would think Sean would do, but Paulo let you down because he didn't bring the kind of firepower he has in the back.
Well, here's the thing. Like Sean didn't even like. I said like Sean or like he kind of went for it in his previous fights. But that's because his opponents also went for it. Sean never had to leave first gear because Paulo wouldn't do much. He was trying to outpoint him, and that's why afterwards, like Paulo was like pissed at himself. He's like, I probably could have won that fight if I just threw more.
That's what. And dude, remember when I told you back? I'm like. That's the thing with the way Sean fights. I feel like guys can sneak rounds in. Yeah. And he, Paulo maybe got one round. I think he might have got one round. I think you could give.
I think give him.
Was it round one? Round one, the leg kicks.
Round one was close. It was either round one or round four, maybe.
Round one. Can you look at the fan voting? You might be able to see it.
So judges gave him round one. The one judge that gave another round, Sal D'Amato. So if you look at the most common round, people thought maybe round one or maybe round four. But even then, it's very slight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, either round one or round four. From what I remember, I want to say I gave him round one.
But the thing is, I feel like if
Around
Paulo took
50,
those
but, like-
big risks, dropped those big bombs, like he might have swayed the judges in his
Yeah,
favor.
he probably would have, man, because nothing was fucking happening. I mean, no offense to Sean. Sean, like I said, he didn't even have to leave first gear. That's how easy that fight was for him.
Yeah.
He was able to just walk forward, land a couple jabs, and just that was it. Because Paulo wouldn't really. He did throw a lot of leg kicks. He went to the body a fair bit, but he looked didn't even try to go upstairs whatsoever. You know what I mean? So
And I feel like if he would have done all those things collectively, like it probably could have led to a better fight.
he could have. And man, that's fight is gonna be.
I think
kicking
even
himself for a
Strickland
while.
talked about. He's like, dude, he was hard to fucking catch to. He was hard to get close to because he just kept running away from me.
It's a fight that Paulo Costa is going to be kicking himself for a while for. I feel like.
But he went on Twitter and he said, you know something, next time I'm going for heads.
Well, as he should, because
And
that was,
he saw Chris Curtis said he was down to fight him, which I'm like,
that's a banger.
that's a banger. But I'm like,
I like that.
I have,
fight, dude.
but Chris is like older, banged up with injuries.
No, but I think that's the fight to make, though. To be quite
You
honest, with
you can make it. I don't even know if it's actually the fight to make. I mean, I feel like you could Paulo some other names still at 85 that he could get away with.
No, I think that there are other fights you could do.
I mean, I
for
guess
him.
we want to like maybe drop back quote unquote
That's
competition even-
it.
because
That's it
Chris
for
is
me.
like game as fuck. You know what I mean? He could come in there and beat some of the best guys.
I mean, he should be Brendan Allen, in my opinion. He would have been top 6 at that point.
Yeah, he could have been.
But I see.
But he
your
also,
point.
but I mean, Chris Curtis also did lose to Jack Hermanson in terrible fashion.
That's true. So I don't know. He really
That fight, it's crazy because that really is his most horrendous. Because he's lost other fights and it's been like, okay, he lost, but like the Jack Hermanson, when you look back at it, and like you're like, damn, that shit is horrendous out of him.
Yeah, and then he also like got mad at Jack for not engaging with him. I'm like, dude, you should have cut off the cage. Like,
But he was also pissed at himself too because it was like,
Yeah.
God damn it, if your fucking game plan worked, you bitch.
yeah, exactly. So it was a whole thing. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind Paulo Costa, Chris Curtis next. I think that'd be fun. It's a nice step back for Paulo, and it gives Chris a chance to step back up after dealing with the injury and
Good
after
point.
kind of having a very close decision. So I have no issue with it. It also be a
History
great,
there too.
history. It's a great fight. 5 rounds. Fuck it.
Could be main event.
Yeah.
Main event in the Apex.
No issue with it. I live literally no issue with it. As far as the rest of the card goes, dude, I mean, Kevin Holland snapped Michelle Olichuk's arm
Submission. I did not expect it to go down this way,
you-
Josh.
yeah,
but
exa-
still sick.
after getting knocked down, too.
I think I mentioned this too. I said this the night of. Can you remember the last time we had an armbar finish? Because I can't.
No, I can't. It's been a minute.
We had like ones that come to memory, like Jamal Hill, Paul. Yeah, the Jamal Hill, Paul Craig
yeah.
one. Tony Ferguson one that Charles Oliveira got on him. That was pretty deep. I'm trying to think if there's another one in there maybe that I can't remember. But like those are some of the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. But outside of that, dude, I can't remember like an armbar in a while.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers, please write that down in the comments, please.
Yeah, please. But as far as this fight goes, man, Holland gets knocked down out of nowhere. Olichuk landed a bomb of a right, dude. A bomb of a landed clean. And then Holland like almost instantly came back to he's like, oh fuck. And then just instantly got an armbar, snapped it inside 90 seconds. Excuse me, inside 120 seconds. 134 the first round. I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it was basically a get back fight for Kevin Holland. We knew about that, and it was a little bit of a scare, but kind of what we expected. Small thing, Kevin Holland has said that he is going to fight at UFC 303 later this month. So who will he fight? Who will he be stepping in against? Will he be trying to boost the card? Who knows?
Dude, no fucking way.
We have a lot of news for UFC 303
Is he
later in the
actually?
show. But we don't know who. We don't know who.
But he did confirm like 100% I will be there. We just don't know the opponent.
He said, looks like I'll be on UFC 303. He put this out on Twitter this morning.
Wow.
So that's something minor, just to keep in mind for a little bit. Yeah, man. Good win by him. I don't have too much to say about it.
I mean, that's what I think he's turning into this era's cowboy.
I agree with you. Especially because of the whole, I will say there's a little bit of difference. Cowboy fought for the title a couple of times, beat some
Yeah.
all-time greats, all that stuff. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
But in the sense of like he's fighting pretty much anybody when he gets the call up.
Yeah.
I mean, who else did that? I mean, off the top of your head that you can think of who's been like this, like just crazy active, getting the call, showing up to fight.
Can't think of anybody. So it'd have to be him,
Shit, Anthony Smith did it at one point to a fair bit.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Anthony Smith did it for a while. But anyways, man, just to go one down.
But granted, like you said too, Anthony Smith did get a title fight.
That's true.
Anthony Smith could have been UFC champion.
Yeah.
Charles like, yeah, I know that. I know that very well.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Nico Price defeated Alex Morono.
This one shocked me.
Yeah, same.
I thought Alex Morono was gonna get this one in the
Fucked
bag.
up my parlay this one.
Oh, you had a parlay going? You
I
didn't even tell me.
I had 2 different parlays going on this night, but yeah.
Are they so bad you don't want to talk about them?
This one was so I did one that was like okay, I can actually just tell you the card real quick. So it was Eileen Perez, Basil Hafez, Grant Dawson, Jailton Almeida, Alex Morono, Holland, Strickland, Makhachev, and Morono was the only one to not win.
Damn.
That's the way it always goes.
You know what's crazy though? I would have
time.
probably picked Morono too.
Yeah,
actually, even probably 100%. I would have picked Morono.
I mean, you picked him on the show,
Yeah, I was confident. Yeah.
Nico Price, man, hasn't won in a fucking minute and came back here, and it was a tough fight. It was definitely a tough fight, but he got the job done. Good for him. That's it. He did not take nearly as many risks in this fight as I expected him to.
He's definitely the big time risk maker.
But you could tell he lost a couple fights going into this one. I mean,
he was like, "Man, I gotta stay on the roster, man.
I got like 11 kids to feed, so
I think he has 7 kids or something now. Some crazy shit.
And it's
7th one's on the way. Expected there's so much.
Announced it over the weekend, so he's gotta keep going.
Yeah, he's actually naming it Islam Makhachev after this performance.
Yeah. Also on the main card, there's a lot of fights between welterweight and middleweight. Took up the 4 out of 5 fights in the main card. Another welterweight fight, Randy Brown defeating Elizeu Celescu dos Santos. It was an okay performance. I thought it was solid. Looked good on the feet.
I think once again, I laid this one out on Twitter too. I still don't know what Randy Brown's ceiling is.
Yeah,
I'm kind of up in debate. Once again, I'm kind of curious what people in the odds maybe have to say about that.
Yeah.
But like, seen Randy Brown fight, seen him. He's been ranked at one point like 15, 14, right? But like hasn't broken through yet. But you see the potential. But at the same time, I'm not like I don't watch Randy Brown and I, with disrespect to the guy, I'm not thinking like
damn future champ,
or damn if you put him in there right now with Leon, I think he gives him some problems.
Yeah, he's a weird guy, man. Really weird guy. I mean, at 33 now.
Yeah.
I think he knows the clock is ticking. And I saw him on Ariel Helwani's show recently, and he said, after the win, I guess I should say, and he said that he wanted Wonder Boy next. And I'm like, I mean, that's a good fight, I guess.
It's a good. I mean,
I don't think he'll get it though.
I mean, if he wants to continue building up, but I will say, I think he's probably deserving of a ranked opponent again. Who I don't know. Maybe could we pull up the rankings? Maybe come out with some theory crafting here on Randy Brown.
Yeah, I mean, so at 170.
I mean, they might give him like Renat Fakhdinov, honestly, just because they both fought less.
That'd be interesting. I mean, at 170, we got Kevin Holland.
You mind zooming in for me? Just real quick.
Yeah, let me. So Kevin Holland, unranked. Vicente Luque, who is booked. Michael Page booked. Neil Magny, I believe unbooked, but don't quote me on that.
I'm sure Buckley doesn't want to fight down.
Buckley unbooked. Currently trying to fight Cub Swanson.
Jeff Neal coming off a win.
Jeff Neal, yeah, who I believe is unbooked. I believe he said he'd be willing to fight either Jeff Neal or Wonder Boy.
Is Jeff Neal coming off a win? I could be wrong.
Oh no, he's not. He lost to Ian Gary.
He lost to Ian Gary. That's what it was.
That was a split decision though. Wonder Boy lost to Shavkat. Sean Brady last beat Kelvin Gastelum, I believe. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's just in a tough spot. There's really not that many options. So yeah, I guess most realistically, Neil Magny, Wonder Boy are his options right now.
Maybe I could see him getting a Holland fight, but it depends, on what they're trying to do with Kevin Holland right now.
Well, if they could make that fight happen for UFC 3.
Jesus. Oh my God. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what his ceiling is, Randy Brown. But good for him. Big win. Keeps it rolling, man. As far as the prelims go, Roman Kopylov defeating Cesar Almeida. That was a very fun fight. I thought Kopylov looked really good on the feet.
He's good, bro. He's good. Like
he's the real shit.
He'll be there. He'll be there.
He's real. He's real good. Jailton Almeida, man, imagine fucking telling somebody that Jailton Almeida, imagine telling somebody there's going to be 3 finishes out of fucking 12 fights on the card. One of them's coming from Jailton Almeida.
I could believe that though, because he can get submissions.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to happen as quickly as it did though against a guy.
I would say that it was a little let down. Romanov did look rough afterwards. He didn't look like he was at his fittest, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
wonder if he's going through stuff again.
Yeah,
I'm heartbroken, man. I want to see that guy back.
I think he's still got something to offer, but man, this really did show because he's been outstruck. I will say this: he's been outstruck by guys, right?
Yeah,
but he's never been thrown around like that. So it was like, man.
And I mean, granted, Jalton is good. Let's be honest. He's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I mean, he just needs to break through, and he just about did. You know, he gets through Curtis Blades. He's in that position to fight Tom Aspinall in England and potentially be in position to fight for the title.
He's active. Jeltson's real good, man. And you could tell by him making like the fast turnaround. He was like, man, I just fucked up against Blades because he was winning that fight. He was winning that fight. He's like, I just fucked up. Want to get that one back. So he took this fight really, really quickly and worked out well for him. Grant Dawson defeating Joe Solecki. Man, Grant Dawson, he struggled in this one more than I expected. It didn't help that you guys are getting food during this one. So at the start of this one, motherfucker goes out there, throws a flying knee. And Joe Solecki literally just steps back, avoids it, and immediately jumps on a guillotine and nearly gets him out of there in the first 30 seconds of the fight. After that, it was a pretty standard performance. I still think Grant has a lot to offer at 155.
He's so young still, right? Like, he's barely turned 30, right?
Yeah, he's still very young. 30 in February.
He was going to say just turned 30. I mean, that's still a 6-7 year career, maybe 8, depending how much he takes care of himself.
21-2-1. He's still the real deal. Holyfield. I'm not worried about him. So
yeah, he lost. I mean, he lost to Bobby Green, who's a sneaky guy for anybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, nothing to be. And granted, maybe this fight kind of was rough because might have been some hesitancy.
Yeah.
You know, he could have been hesitant going into because of factors in his previous fights and maybe pressure. You know, and maybe some self doubt. Who knows? But he's a good guy, man. By the way, you seen his TikTok?
No.
He makes content about like getting to the UFC.
Oh, I
like,
don't know.
Things like do this if you want to get to the UFC, or this is what I do on my journey to the UFC. It's actually pretty cool content.
I like Grant, so I'll probably check that out. But yeah, man, as far as the rest of the card, Jake Matthews picking up a win over Philip Rowe is an okay fight. Banger of the card, which most people were not talking about by the end of it.
Didn't expect it.
And I actually thought this fight was going to be a fucking squash match. And I joked about it on the show, and I have to eat some crow here. Basil Hafez defeating Mickey Gall. Dude, Mickey Gall showed the fuck up after not fighting for 2 years, had injuries, cut from the UFC, came back.
Had surgery.
Fighting a guy that nearly upset JDM, and man, he knocked him down at one point, you know?
He had him pretty hurt. I mean, we're not that far from reality where Mickey Gall came back and won this fight against Basil Hafez.
Yeah, he looked good, man. He looked good. Both guys look good, honestly.
I hope they keep Mickey around, man. I know the record's almost even, but damn, like.
Well, the record's almost even, but whenever you look at, dude, I mean, he came in literally one fight into the UFC.
Yeah.
Like one fight. He had one AMI fight, one pro fight. And then the resume's not bad either. I mean, as far as like guys in the UFC, I mean, Mike Jackson, who was a winner, a former UFC champion, Pat Miletich. Phil Brooks, former WWE champion, Phil Brooks. CM Punk. Sage Northcutt, which is a legitimately good win at the time. George Sullivan, who was like a veteran at that point in his career. Salim Torhi, who we fought some other good guys. And Jordan Williams. And he's also fought guys like Morono and had good fights. The Mike Perry fight was very, very fun. You know what I mean? So he's not bad at all, man. So, yeah, man. Hopefully they keep Mickey around.
I think they will.
Yeah.
I think they should. I think they should just. I know he's not young anymore necessarily, but
32.
Like I feel like if you can get something out of the kid still, maybe get him some wins, not get him some wins, but get him the right fights, and who knows if he can make the best out of them, get to a good position, right?
Yeah. Well, I think they thought he was going to get fucked up, so I wouldn't be surprised if they keep him around. You know?
Yeah.
Eileen Perez defeating Jocelyn Edwards, settling a feud they had from UFC Apex where they fought each other one time, like last year. Not in the octagon. I should clarify for you guys. Not in the cage. They did not fight in the cage. They just got into a fight at the UFC.
It was weird. If you see that interview when they break that down, I listened to it. It was very odd.
Yeah. Andre Lima defeating Mitch Raposo.
By the way,
terrible decision.
By the way, very fucked up. By the way, do you think Mitch should have won?
No, I'm saying that
like the person who gave the scorecard to Mitch.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
But I will say, fucked up. Mitch Raposo coming in on short notice, I guess, to replace whoever.
Yeah, I can't remember who he was supposed to
fight. Whoever Lima was supposed to fight, and then Lima fucking comes in overweight. Like, very triggering. I hope they keep Mitch around. I love me some Mitch Raposo. It was nice to see him back, see him actually get the opportunity to come into the UFC. And I talked about it in the pre-show. Like a bunch of those tough guys, I feel like they should get the call up because I don't know if maybe they're necessarily ready, but I think they have some stuff to provide.
Yeah, I thought
we already know they're gonna fucking sign like 10 Contender Series guys in 1 week.
Yeah, like because there are some weeks now where like Dana will sign all 5 guys. Like not even like it's like half the weeks he signs all 5 guys.
Sometimes he'll sign the person who lost too.
I know. So it's like, what the fuck are we doing here at this point? That guy in our TikTok comment section really was right. Really was right. You know what I mean? Like, there's no such thing in 2024 as like a UFC caliber guy.
Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
I feel like at the top, yes.
Yeah, but as far as like just at this point,
like in between,
we've seen some
people who are definitely not. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck. What was his name? I mean, let's be honest, Josh. It's gonna be Jordan Wright, Beverly Hills Ninja.
Oh man, Jordan Wright got he was fun though. I can
He
actually
was fun, but was he UFC level? You know what I mean? If what at one point we had was UFC caliber.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You know what I mean? Dude, our boy from Tough. I can't think of his name. Petrosky.
Oh my god, that fucking guy.
Michael Gilmore.
I
mean,
Holy
Josh,
shit.
prime example of someone who was definitely not.
No offense. You know what? I kind of want to get him on the show. I literally just want to ask him, like, what is it like being in that position? Like, not even no bullshit. Because I remember I asked Sam Alvey to his face, like, so you've lost like 6 in a row. Like.
By the way, you're the. I remember afterwards. By the way,
you were like, why would you?
No, I didn't say that.
No, but it was like a good way. You're like, I'm surprised you asked that question. Like,
yeah, I think I complimented you on it because it was a hard question to ask. And by the way, that was like our first ever fighter interview. Shout out Sam Alvey, him karate combat champ now.
Yeah, that's right. Karate combat champ.
Karate combat champ. We love
Smiling Sam.
We love Sam because he gave us an opportunity. Don't worry, Sam. When we make it big, we'll remember you. We'll bring you back on.
Fuck yeah, bro. I'd be willing to bring him back on.
But Josh, because at that time Sam was struggling. And granted, we also talked to Sam because we did think like some of the fights that he had lost, he might have actually won.
Yeah. So this was whenever he had lost 4 or 5 in a row, I believe, by this point.
Yeah, and Josh asked Sam like, it's kind of looking tough, man. Like, who knows? This could be the end here if you don't get this one. Something along the lines of that.
I asked him like better way. I was like, does your mindset change going? Because like I think I phrased him like you've been a top 15 guy, you've been a top 10 guy. Because I think you did break into the top 10 at like at one point in middleweight in like 2018. I was like, so you've been there. Does your mindset change now being in your 30s, having lost multiple fights in a row? It could be the last one, depending on how this one goes. Does your mindset change? Are you doing anything different in training?
It was fucking crazy. He got like 2 more fights after that.
He got like more because I think that was before. So he lost 4. And then he fought to a draw. I think that was the fight whenever he fought Jun Young Park, maybe, or some shit.
Something like
yeah,
that.
But anyways, the point being, yeah. I mean, I'll ask Michael Gilmore some questions. I mean, I don't think he'll care. There are some guys who I do want to get on here, just like the guys like that, just like to see because there's different perspectives from fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not wrong. Is Michael Gilmore fought recently at all? By the way, because those last few fights were rough for Michael Gilmore.
Let's hope, man. Let's hope that he's 6-5.
That Mickey Gall tiebreaker did.
Yeah, Mickey's 7-6. 37 years old, the gentleman. He's not fought since his loss to Ramiz
2 years ago. Over 2 years ago now.
Yeah, so we'll see, man. I mean, he got finished 3 straight times in the UFC.
If we're including Tough. Tough.
When I include Tough, I mean, the fights happen, so it's not like, you know what I mean? Let's see. Is he active on social medias at all? This is fucking riveting content for those.
I mean, he could be a coach now.
I didn't even know. I realized I follow him on his fucking.
Of course.
Oh, did he just have a kid? That makes a lot of sense then.
I mean, he just looks like a family guy, dude. Like, if you didn't tell me this guy was a fighter, I could be like, this guy definitely takes care of his family.
Oh, he had a baby last November. Good for Michael Gilmore, bro. Good for him, dude. I love that. I love seeing that, man. So. I hope it works out for him. Maybe we'll get him on the show. I think there's some.
I bet you he's like the nicest guy in the world. Because even when he came onto the show, he seemed like the nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, exactly. When he came on Tough, he was nice as fuck. So I actually was really rooting for him. But anyways, we'll go ahead and move on from UFC 302. It was a card that happened. This is a card going down in Louisville, Kentucky. Fun fact: the runner-up for this card. This one could have been a road trip. I said if they went to this place, I was going to go. It was going to be at the Chesapeake Arena in Oklahoma City. The runner-up, yeah, they lost it to Louisville. Isn't that some shit? But anyways, good for Louisville. Good for the fans down in Louisville.
Throw them a bone,
Throw them a bone. So going down from the KFC Yum Center. Fuck
Jesus
America,
Christ,
bro. America, dude, that's the most American shit of all time, and in Kentucky too.
It's almost too perfect, right?
It is perfect. So, anyways, in the main event of this UFC Fight Night, Jared Cannonier, who has looked great in middleweight recently.
By the way, this man is fucking 40.
This man, he's
Red
a man.
40.
He's a man. He's 40. He's won 2 in a row, including his win over Marvin Vettori last June was the best he's ever looked, in my opinion.
And then it went over the former champ, Sean Strickland.
Yep.
Controversial, but win.
Yeah, split decision. Taking on Nasruddin Imavov, coming off a majority decision win over Roman Didalise.
Ran over Roman.
Ran over Roman. Yeah, man.
What a phrase, right?
Ran over Roman. Anyways, what do you think about this one, Ran? 5 rounds, 185
Look,
pounds.
this one's very comfortable for me. It's Jared Cannonier. I think I talked about it last time with Nazarene Evil. We're being sold on potential like very hard with him.
Yeah.
And it's weird because he's a ranked fighter. Granted, now he has a good one over Roman. But
Great win. Yeah.
But fuck, did Roman look rough in that fight?
Yeah. Yeah, he looked rough. He's number 7 in the rankings. And if you look at, but for the record, I'm just going to go ahead and say it before I even go into this whole thing. Pick a Cannonier too. I think it's a very safe pick. I think if we're just going off the way he's looked recently, he's looking fucking great. He's 40 years old. Doesn't matter though. He's found the fountain of youth somehow.
Whoa, Josh.
But I don't want to make any accusations. I don't want to get I don't want to get all crazy here because I'll have people in my comment section telling me to kill myself.
Whoa,
call me a fat fuck.
Whoa,
but I'm just saying.
Unalive yourself in game.
in game. Only in game. But anyways, so the thing with Nasruddin Imavov, man, like you said, we're being sold on potential. If you look at the actual stuff he's done, it's like, win over Jordan Williams' debut, okay. Decision loss to Phil Hawes, a knockout win over Ian Hines is good. A stoppage win over Edmund Shabazian, good. But even then, Edmund hasn't worked out in the same way we've wanted. Joaquin Buckley, before Buckley moved down, that was a competitive fight. He lost to Strickland when Strickland stepped up on 6 days' notice. He had the no contest of Chris Curtis. He had a majority decision winner, Roman Didelize, where he came out of that fight winning that one. And I was almost so mad he won that fight because I'm like, dude, that fight, Roman was barely able to stand. He was so tired in the 4th and 5th round. And you're still not going to go for the finish. You couldn't get him out of there. You couldn't get him out of there? I'm going to pick Jared Cannonier, man. I mean, I like Nasruddin a lot.
You know what's weird? Like, how did we fall into that, like, UFC market? Because we have been, like, the Nazarene Imavov, like, whole storyline has been, like, sold purely on, like, dude, this guy, it's been a lot of potential selling.
Well, I was sold after the Shabazian win. I was sold after that point because I thought.
But Josh, but you're also taking into hindsight, like, not even hindsight, even at the time, like, it's Edmund Shabazian. Yeah. No hate to Edmund because Edmund's come back and gone to win, right? If I remember.
I thought Imavov would have improved in the 4 years he's been in the UFC. But I feel like he's improved, but not as much from that guy who's day one against Jordan Williams.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's so much as falling in the UFC market.
Is that Jordan Williams, my boy, who's diabetic?
Yes.
Yeah,
that was his final fight in the UFC, I believe.
Heartbreak.
Mickey Gall was able to finish Jordan Williams, but not Nasruddin Imavov. In case you're curious. Just going to go and put that out there.
All I'm saying is, Charles Oliveira got Dustin Poirier out there quick. That's good.
He chewed on Saturday night, which, Korean Zombie had him out by this point. Just talking shit. Anyways.
Habib already submitted him by the way.
I'm just saying, Habib was the great. No, it's just. But anyways, I'm gonna pick Cannonier, man. Should be a fun fight though. I have no doubt Nasruddin will and maybe he needs a crowd because every fight he's had, with the exception of I think.
Yeah, dude, Josh, I'm sure Louisville will be the kind of crowd that Nazarene Imavov, a French representative, descendant of Dagestan, needs.
He hasn't fought with a crowd for a full fight since that fight with Shabazian. Just saying. Some guys need it.
He might have some relatable things to Louisville. If you know, you know.
I don't think I understand. Am I fucking stupid? What's the joke?
I'll explain afterwards.
You'll explain afterwards? All right. Anyways, I feel fucking stupid. But anyways, joke flew straight over my head, Anyways, co-main event. I like it, but I hate it. Does that make sense?
If this was 5 to 6 years ago, I'd have a clear answer.
I agree with you. Dominic the Devastator Reyes, who at one point was the lineal UFC light heavyweight champion, defeated John Jones in February of 2020. He should have, if we're being honest here. Since that loss to John Jones in February of 2020, he's not won a fight. He got knocked out by Jan, got knocked out by Yuri, and got knocked out by Ryan Spann. The chin looks...
By the way, almost 2 years since he's been in the cage.
Yeah. He almost died of the blood clot, by the way, last year. So, in case you guys are curious. Yeah, he's struggled. He struggled a lot. Taking on an older guy, 36 years young, a guy we talked about on the show a lot. We've always kind of felt up until, I'd say, he started to struggle a bit here recently. Always a very fun guy. Dustin Jacoby, man. Holding the record. It's not as great as it could have been. 19-8-1 prior to, but look, going into 2022, he was on a really nice winning streak. Hasn't really gotten all the attention in the world, but he's a fun guy. He's a ranked guy, a former kickboxer. doesn't have like the most power, but I think if you're looking for a fight for Dominic Reyes to come back to the top 15 guy, you're not going to do much better stylistically than this one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he probably should be fighting a guy like fucking me out there. You know what I mean? Like, give him a tune-up. God damn. Like, what are we doing? He was to fight Carlos Ulberg before this. So,
can we bring Junior Albini back? You know, can he make like
yeah,
that?
yeah. Where's oh man, you want to call up Shogun Hua? Shogun just retired. I'm sure he'll do it.
Right.
Where's fucking he might lose to Ilhor Peteria, for being honest. I was about to say where's Ilhor Peteria at, but he might lose that fight. Ilhor has some power. But anyways, what do you make of this fight?
I'm hesitant. I'm gonna go Dom Reyes. I praised Dustin Jacoby a lot on this show.
Yeah.
I have probably been like the one Dustin Jacoby supporter out in the fucking UFC realm, if any exists out there. I might just be completely fucking alone, honestly, on this one.
You're on an island, yeah.
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 But I'm gonna go with him. If there's an ounce left in there, man, I have faith.
Yeah. I had faith until the Ryan Spann fight. I had a lot of faith until the Ryan Spann. Even the Yuri fight. The thing is, though, he looked good until he got caught.
If Ryan Spann and Dustin Jacoby fight, which I know it's MMA math, whatever the fuck. Do you think Justin Jacoby beats Ryan Spann, or do you think Ryan Spann beats Justin Jacoby? Granted, it's Ryan Spann. I mean, Ryan Spann could have fucking lose.
Ryan Spann could go out there and beat John Jones and then lose to fucking I don't even know, Luke Rockhold the next day. I'm talking Luke Rockhold now. Like, I don't know. He's like,
damn, you said Luke Rockhold now. Luke Rockhold today.
Like, he's so back and forth, man. I'd pick Dustin Jacoby to win that, though. I think he's just I feel like he's the more consistent guy.
Okay.
You know.
But today, Josh, against Dom Reyes. I think
Dustin Jacoby's gonna beat Dom Reyes.
Damn, why are you hurting me?
I don't want to pick Dustin Jacoby. Okay, I like Dustin Jacoby, but I don't want to pick him because I feel so bad. I feel so fucking bad Dominic Reyes anytime he fights. Do you feel sorry for Dominic Reyes? Be honest with me right on this fucking show. Do you feel sorry for Dom Reyes?
I
feel very sorry for Dominic. I want you to put yourself into the man's shoes. Put yourself into the man's shoes. Imagine working your life, putting 30, I mean, it was not 30 years of work, but you get my point. Years upon years of work to work towards a goal. And you finally get it. You get a world title shot against the greatest fighter of all time. And you know what you do? You win 3 out of 5 rounds. And it's not perfect. It's not the greatest, most impressive win of all time. But you're going to the scorecards. Your corner thinks you've won. The crowd thinks you've won. Most people sitting at home think you've won. You look up MMA decisions. The journalists think you won. You look up the fighters. Most fighters think you won. But 3 people in Houston, Texas tell you that you did not win. And all that work you did was for nothing. Because you know why?
And one of those judges was friends with your opponent?
That's true. And you know why? And you know what happens after that? John Jones, the guy that you beat, no. I'm not going to give you a rematch. No. You can win the title. But that thing of taking the O away from John Jones, you're never going to get that shot again. And I think it mentally broke him. I think it genuinely mentally broke him. Because imagine getting that close to that goal. And not only you think you did the goal, and most people think most people think you did it. But officially you didn't. And you're never going to get a shot at it again. Even if you fought back to a title shot, even if you beat Jan, John was never going to fight him ever again.
I need you to stop because I'm actually starting to feel it actual physical pain.
It's so shitty. So I feel bad for Dominic Reyes. I think,
for the record, though, when Dom Reyes does win, you guys know who picked Dom Reyes on the show.
And I'm rooting for Dom Reyes. I really am. But look, 4 losses in a row.
Granted, I did like Trolley pick Paulo Costa last week. Yeah. Trolley pick Romanov. So honestly, like, don't even listen to me anymore. Granted, though, I will say I gave like decent explanations for all of those.
I didn't hate it. But look, dude, Ryan Spann.
I wasn't like dead set on any of those either.
Dude,
I'm not even dead set on this one. The only pick I'm dead set on this week is Jerry Cannonier.
Yes, I agree.
And Bruno Fajer, who's beating Dustin Stofilis this week.
Anyways, yeah, dude, I could see, Ryan Spann sent Dominic Reyes to the land of wind and ghosts with a jab. That's the thing I always think about.
Yeah, you see the highlight. It was a bad one.
You see the highlight of that one. He lands the jab and then come over the top with like a big left hand or whatever the fuck.
I will say Ryan Spann does
out from the fucking.
I will say Ryan Spann does have power.
He does, but
I mean, and you're not wrong. We don't see a lot of guys in MMA get knocked out or knocked down from jabs
that badly too. So look, it is what it is. I hope at the very least I want him to make it to the scorecards. If he loses, I just want him to be competitive. I don't want to see him get knocked out again. I don't want to see it. But the rest of this card, look, dude.
By the way, Ricky Turcios forgave Raul Rosas Jr. for violating the Bushido code. He is back. They actually got the fight. By the way, this fight was supposed to happen, I think, like a lot sooner. I'm assuming there was a lot of issues on the Ricky Turcios side. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I also think Ricky didn't like the fact that they announced the fact that he was going to fight Raul again like a week later after it got canceled.
They're like, yo, what the fuck?
He's like, dude, you guys haven't even fucking talked to me. What the fuck are you talking about?
He's like, dude, you're Kaiba Corp and I'm Yugi Moto and I have no say in what the fuck we're doing. If you know, you know.
Yeah. But look, man, should be a fun fight between those two. You mentioned it. Bruno Ferreira taking on Dustin Stolfa should be fun.
Bang.
Kansas City's finest, Julian, who I don't think actually lives in Kansas City anymore.
Damn. Probably lives in Vegas. If you know,
I believe so. I believe so. Yeah, if you know, you know. Julian Marquez taking on Zachary Reese. We're still going to rep Julian Marquez, though.
Yeah, the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Badass name. Although, look, fumbling Miley Cyrus is you think, you
I
think
mean,
about that?
that's like top 3 L's all time.
I mean, look, you know, I would have not fun. No, it's just,
I think I would have not fumbled either.
I don't think. No, actually, I can't say that whatsoever. I've had like Titanic level failures.
But the thing is,
with
it's
women,
also
so
like
I
he
can't
had
really-
it. You couldn't have possibly sold any harder.
Yeah, but I've had like. No, I'm not gonna get into that.
Well,
Anyway,
on a lighter note, by the way,
Miguel Baez.
and Pauliano Serrano, by the way, I'm pretty sure loser leaves town fight, which breaks my heart because when these guys are on, when both these guys are on, they're entertaining. By the way, oddly kind of similar builds, I think, kind of similar like stand up styles in a way.
Yeah, I mean, Puanale Soriano, 4 out of his last 5 L's. Miguel Baez, 3 L's in a row. I hope Miguel wins. I've always liked.
I like both guys. Like I'll be heartbroken regardless.
That's fair, but goddamn, dude,
It's been 2 years since Miguel Baez fought.
that early run for Baez was fun as fuck.
He was so good, dude. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Anyways, hopefully that fight's
By the way,
fun.
Banger fight. Honestly, in my opinion,
I
deserves
know
to
what
be
you're
on the
gonna
main
say,
card
yeah.
or deserves to be on a, I don't know, later on in
Yeah.
a card. Thiago Moises, Ludwig Klein, a guy who I hyped up for a bit but had some stumbles on the way. Thiago Moises, guy who gave trouble to Islam Makhachev at one point, or
Yeah.
at least gave him a decent fight, I should say.
Yeah,
Not
he gave him
necessarily
a
trouble.
decent fight.
Stuck in it, guy with a lot of potential. Still very young, right? I think maybe barely turned 30, maybe still even in
Early
his 20s.
29.
Exactly. Look at that.
29 years young, 18-7 the record. Not the greatest resume of all time. but
Leg
dude,
kick
look,
to hell with Mitch Ramirez. By the way, essentially kicking Mitch Ramirez like out of the UFC with that.
Yep.
Mitch Ramirez was a guy who got kicked off the Conor Tough season, bashed it on the local scene whenever he got his interview, and then got the shot, but he got it against Thiago Moises,
On short notice.
and
It's
then
like,
gets leg kicked to
yeah.
hell.
It's a tough one. That's a tough one to
By
take.
the way,
on short notice.
do you remember that one? That one was brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal. He fucked him up. And for normally a submission guy too, like that was one where I was like, damn, Thiago,
level
all right.
up,
All right,
level
buddy.
up, King.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, he's had some banger fights. I really root for him. He's a fun guy out of Brazil, so we'll see what happens. Charles Radke coming back here, mostly known for saying slurs. Could you go and take on Carlos?
Charles Slur Radke.
Charles Slur Radke.
By the way, can you
Brothers.
scroll down a little bit for me?
Yeah.
Sir? I'm gonna load.
So we also got the return, and I'm surprised this woman's still in the UFC. I'm not complaining because I think she's fun. Andrea KGB Lee, who's lost 4 in a row.
I mean, this
needs
is
one bad.
This is probably another loser leaves town fight, Josh.
Yeah, Montana De La Rosa.
This actually
lost
might
3
be
in a row, too.
winner and loser leaves town fight.
Yeah, Montana De La Rosa facing her also lost 3 in a row.
I can already see a retirement in one of these fights.
Yeah,
Fight, to be
I can
honest.
see that.
Brad Katona back.
Take on Jesse Butler, who is that the same Jesse Butler that fought Jim Miller at lightweight?
I
No way,
believe
right?
so.
Moving down 2 weight classes?
I think so. I think he just came in on that much short notice, if I remember right. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Moving down 2 weight classes. Damn.
Holy shit. We'll see how this weight cut goes.
We'll see how it goes.
John Castaneda versus Daniel Marcus. By the way, Daniel Marcus is a 15-0 Peruvian fighter who never gets talked about, but has silently kind of built up a run.
He beat David Grant. That was a good one. You know?
Yeah, no, that's great.
Eduarda Moria. I apologize if I mispronounced his name. Taking on Denise Gomez, who I think is still a great prospect. 24 years young. 8-3. What is that? 3-2 in the UFC. Only lost to Loma Lookambi and Angela Hill.
Upset
Is
my
what it
girl
is.
Yasmin Howard.
Yep, that was a good win. Cody Stamon, who, dude,
He's back.
this guy, man, just stays in the he just finds a way to stick around, man. This guy's been in the UFC since 2017. Very,
he's
quiet
fun
guy.
and he's good.
Yeah, he's fun and he's good. He's been in the top 15.
Hard ass fight though.
Yeah.
taking on, what is that, Taylor Luplicious?
Taylor Luplicious, yeah, out of France.
Luplicious.
Not easy fight, man. Not an easy fight.
Good Frenchman.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you know who that is, but I don't know if it's Pyoja or Pyoga Tumar, first Indian UFC fighter.
I have heard of this.
Or Hindi, I guess we could say Hindi UFC fighter, making her debut. I could be wrong. Her first female, because I think we did have one male who came off the road to the UFC Asia.
Yeah.
I think we had a guy come through that.
Yeah,
but I don't know if he fought in the UFC yet. I could be wrong or I could be correct. But she will be the first, no matter what, I believe, female Hindi fighter in the UFC.
Correct. First female Indian fighter. There was the guy, I can't think of his fucking name, the guy that fought Mike Breeden. Looked really good for 2 rounds, boxed the ears off, and Mike Breeden just went out there and started barking at him, and he folded immediately.
I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
But this girl, 8-4. I admittedly I haven't seen a lot of her fights.
She fought in one in the past, I believe.
She went 1-3. She fought what's her name?
I think she fought Stamp too.
Yeah, Stamp Fairtex. She did lose that one. I haven't seen a lot outside of that fight though.
I mean, there must be some. I mean, granted, they are very much running into the India market. I mean, India has 1 billion people in it.
That's true. Hopefully it's good, man. Hopefully she's good. I think India. That'd be a fun country to get involved in MMA. Like they're all right. Like a lot of countries are becoming more interested in it, and India is one of them. I can just tell you from working for Sports Kita because they are a Indian company. Like they a lot more people are getting into it over there. So we'll see.
They're also really into slap fight apparently.
Dude, you see the most recent Dana clip of him I never see, actually. It's funny because he talks about, he's like, Power Slap is like the most watched sport of all time. He was on a podcast recently, and he was like, it's the most watched sport of all time. It's more than the NFL, the NBA, the UFC, hockey, and baseball combined. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? And the 2 podcast hosts are just like they don't want to interrupt. They don't want to interrupt Dana. They don't want to call him a bullshitter, but they're also kind of like, "Fucking, what is this?"
Oh man, I didn't spit on you, did I?
No, dude, it's Shatri level fucking line.
Shatri Singhatong.
It's Shatri Singhatong.
By the way, they're having a card this week.
Oh really? Who's fighting on it? Is it a lot of Muay Thai?
I honestly, I thought you were gonna be really trolly and not actually ask. I thought it was like, oh really? Who was on it?
But, you wanted me to be genuine?
I couldn't tell if you were being genuine or trolling.
Who's fighting on it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I just know it's coming up.
It's a card that's happening. Let's see.
Josh, I feel very attacked right now.
I mean, that's fine. You can feel however you want.
It's right there. It's right there.
It's on my birthday, dude. Yeah, it's a lot of Muay Thai.
A lot of Muay Thai.
There's 1 MMA fight.
It's their Muay Thai. Is it their show in Thailand that they do?
Yeah, the Friday night fights. Or Friday fights, which I actually do watch a lot of these because
they're fun as fuck, dude. They bang
4 ounce Muay Thai. That's why I'm gonna be pissed whenever they go. I don't think they're gonna go under. I think they're doing a lot of cost cutting because that's why they're fighting mostly Muay Thai guys. You know what I mean? But look, hopefully things go
because they pay them $5,000 and that's like a year's worth of rent probably for them.
Do not pay those guys $5,000. We'll talk about it off air.
I'm saying wait, you have numbers?
Yeah.
You can't say them on air?
No, I'm not for legal reasons because they like to threaten to sue people if it's fucking
like some defamation shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not gonna say anything on air, but we'll talk off air.
Okay.
And it's but it is significantly less than.
I was like, some Muay Thai guys make good money. Like I've seen a guy.
Some do.
I saw a guy interview guys in Thailand. He went to Muay Thai gyms and asked them.
Some of their top level guys do make good money, but this is a guy who's just
and especially good money for that country.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in Thailand, I think about it, I'm like, I could just fucking leave right now.
Get a remote job.
I could get a remote job. I could just do my current job. Fuck it. I'd make enough over there to live
in a hotel.
Exactly.
Not a luxury hotel.
Exactly. I mean, then I see those videos of a tourist accidentally disrespecting a guy and getting fucked up. I'm like, I'm gonna go out.
Or you see a guy in the street and then a lady boy comes up to him and that video cuts off and you're like, that poor bastard doesn't know. And that poor bastard was Craig Jones. And he actually did know. He did know. He likes to keep jiu-jitsu guy, Anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on to some news, man. We got a couple things to go and hit before we get out of here. The first and foremost being, now granted, we're not going to spend too long on this because it was we already kind of talked about this last week whenever it was it had happened, but it wasn't officially postponed. Just get into it, Josh.
Yeah, it has officially been postponed. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. No longer going down July 20th. They said they're going to postpone it to the quarter 4. So we're looking in anywhere between October and December.
And if that doesn't happen, it's probably chalked.
It's probably chalked. The fact that they didn't cancel it outright whenever he got on the plane and had a medical emergency and like
Because Josh, that was clearly not enough.
he can't just be 57 years
I heard it was like to the level like people were literally calling like for help, like literally like doctor help.
Yeah,
any doctors
yes,
on the plane
that's
type
correct.
shit.
That's correct. Which, by the way, I don't even know like if that's like having like a bleeding ulcer is like old man shit. I don't know if that's like if he overworked himself or what.
Someone, I don't know if it is, but I did see someone mention the same kind of comment. Like,
Yeah, like I don't know.
but on a lighter note, Josh, kind of expand on this
Go
topic
ahead.
because
Yeah,
it is chalked. But they
Please.
are gonna they are still doing Serrano, Taylor. They're still gonna make that happen. I forgot where or how, but they're gonna allow that to happen still. I don't know if you know that.
Good.
Because that's too big.
But
of
I'm
a
assuming
flutter.
they're going to keep the rest of the undercard intact.
I'm not sure exactly
'Cause
how
I
that's
think-
all going down. I got all those
Serrano
details.
Taylor, I'm assuming because of the titles, they want to keep it together for like
Yeah.
yeah.
They can't pause. They can't let that one just pause. But what was I saying on a lighter note too? On top of that, so we got two light notes. That one and another one.
Go ahead.
This has kind of reignited the Jake Paul or the Paul KSI feud, and I think it's actually a positive direction because Josh, I've been very like leading the charge on like those guys need to fight by the end of whenever this YouTube bullshit ends.
Yeah.
And I think if it does end, it's gonna end with that fight for the most part.
Yeah.
It's kind of reignited. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you think? Jake kind of threw out some options out there, which, by the way, Deji, Logan co-main event with Jake, KSI main. I mean, you could not tell me that wouldn't put out some pretty crazy numbers.
Look, I would love to see that. I genuinely would. Now, granted, the size difference between Logan and
I-
Deji, they'd have to figure that out.
I mean, Josh, clearly this clearly does not matter.
No, it didn't. But they would have to figure that shit out. 'Cause
They could make it work.
I mean,
And Deji's been cutting actually. Sure, you're not fully wrong there.
but they would have to make that work. But look, here's the thing when it comes to Jake Paul and KSI. I think KSI wants that fight for a lot of different reasons. I've always said that I've never really blamed anybody for it not working out. But I think
Ariel
it's
called
clear-
for it too, which is even crazy.
Yeah, I think it's clear that Jake Paul doesn't want that fight though, at least at this point.
He doesn't want that smoke.
I don't think it's that. I think like he's trying to move past the influencer stuff. I really think he is. I think he'd rather be considered in that realm of being like I fight MMA fighters and older boxers and shit than be considered like in the
Oh shit!
influencer
And you don't even got this in here. We kind of got to talk about it too.
We're gonna talk about that because the only reason why. So the whole thing is Jake Paul said, "KSI, Mike Tyson's not fighting me. Why don't you fight me in July?" KSI said, "No, I have business in August," and Jake Paul leaked that it's going to be KSI fighting Amir Khan, which
By the way, I saw a report that it's getting extremely close to being done.
dude.
Out of all the influencers, biggest fight.
Oh, I mean that's the biggest test by far. I mean I understand like there's a size difference, yes, but Amir Khan.
Has a lifetime.
When did he fight Canelo? 2017, somewhere around there.
Wasn't that long ago, really?
Yeah, he stepped up to middleweights or middleweight or super middleweight, way above his normal weight class, and was outboxing Canelo through 7 rounds. So it's like,
And then Canelo landed.
yeah, and then he landed the one shot. But it's like, I mean, has he really fallen off that much in the last 6-7 years for KSI to think he could beat him? Like that's
what I'm saying. I don't necessarily think so. That's why I'm kind of like I respect it.
yeah, I respect it too. I mean, as far as like influencer shit, I mean, it's probably the best. It's probably like the biggest test.
Like not like Jake hasn't nearly taken a risk this big.
No. And I saw somebody that was like,
Because how old is Amir Khan? Amir Khan's probably not even 40.
Amir Khan's not even 40.
38, 39, I'm assuming max.
Actually, I think he's in his mid-30s. He might even only be
37,
yeah,
dude.
37 years old.
KSI's 30 now.
30, just turned 30.
7 years. I mean,
Amir
man.
Khan last fought February 2022. Got dominated by an even older Kell Brook, but at the same time, it was still, Kell Brook and...
By the way, that Bud Crawford fight wasn't even going that bad for him either until it ended. You remember that?
Yeah, that was a really weird ending, too, where he got, like, hit in the dick, and he's like, dude, you want to continue? He's like, no, I'm good. And so they called it a TKO.
And he wasn't looking like that bad either, if I remember.
No.
It's been a while. I could be absolutely incorrect, but if I remember right,
Yeah.
it wasn't looking that bad.
Yeah, I mean, Kell Brook looked pretty washed, too, but, I mean, Amir Khan... I will say this much: if there's a way that KSI is going to win, it's because Amir Khan's washed to the heavens. And I will say,
his chin is just that gone.
yeah, I will say against Kell Brook, who was also late 30s, hadn't fought in years, and was out of his prime, dude, he wouldn't throw a punch, and that's typically a sign that a guy is like washed. But also, he was fighting a guy who was
fighting Kell Brook.
exactly, well respected, a former world champion. I don't think we'll have the same respect for KSI, but I don't know. Like, there's gonna be a huge size difference, but also he's on some shit,
and maybe
he is.
maybe some pressure from a crowd. Being back into it, be like, damn, like I can't lose to this guy.
Exactly. There's a lot of pressure that goes into it. I like it. I like KSI versus Amir
I
Khan.
respect the fuck out of it.
It's a weird.
Out of all the fights, this is the most respectable fight a influencer's taken.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, if what are the other examples of like an influencer fighting an actual pro boxer? Like, think about him. It's like KSI versus Tommy Fury. If you consider Tommy Fury I mean, I guess he is.
He's in and out. He's in
Jake Paul against Anderson. Jake Paul against Andre. What's August?
Yeah.
Ryan Borland. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
who else?
Like,
I mean,
the respect you have to put on this is insane. Like,
I mean,
it's a big risk.
Yeah, and I saw some people who were like clowning on him. They're like, "You really think he could beat Amir Khan? Amir Khan was fighting them." It's like, dude, like, what do you guys want from him?
I mean,
whenever these
like,
guys
I know,
like,
I meme about it a lot, but like, this is the closest thing to, like, how I always say, like, Jake should fight Andre Ward.
Yeah.
Like, this kind of like this moment.
This is the closest thing. Although, obviously, I mean, Amir Khan's prime was at 140, 147.
Yeah.
So it's obviously
also Andre Ward left being very fucking good still.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be like,
and an Olympian too.
Yeah, and there's like 30 pounds between these two guys. But at the same time, it's like, dude, like, this is still Amir fucking Khan, who is fighting in world title fights as recently as 5 years ago. So it's like,
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. I will say this much: I respect KSI for taking it.
Like, JJ could go out there and get slept.
He might get. I mean, he very well might go out there and get his ears boxed off. I saw that apparently they trained together early in JJ's.
I think so, yeah. But JJ's running. I mean, he was with AJ and
he's trained
some other English boxers he's kind of ran through over the years.
But look, man,
Vidal Riley.
I will say this much: I like KSI versus Amir Khan more than I like Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. I'll say that much. I'll fucking say that, dude. Hell yeah, dude. I mean,
Hand of God on that one.
Both of them are fucking. Neither one of these guys can get a discount at Golden Corral. I'll put it like that. They
not for a few more years.
Yeah, none of these guys are getting the senior discount, so you can't say that for Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Right. Hopefully, whenever that one gets officially announced, we'll talk about it a little bit more, and hopefully we'll get details of weight class and shit. And I think weight class and rounds and all that shit matters a lot for that fight. But we'll see.
Both these guys had their fucking nudes leaked.
I didn't even know that, and I'm not even gonna get into that.
I think Amir Khan had like a whole on sex tape.
Amir Khan had it. Do you remember whenever he was like, he went on like a whole Twitter rant, like he lost his mind on Twitter one day. He's like, Anthony Joshua fucked my wife, and that piece of shit, I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, dude, like he was. You don't remember this?
He had like an AJ breakdown, but not after a fight.
On Twitter, like,
on Twitter.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna kill Anthony Joshua. Like, I'm gonna literally kill him, and I'm like, all right, man.
Okay, sir.
All right. Speaking of stuff that's getting canceled / postponed, the mystery continues, and as of now, we have no insider information still.
Just so you guys know, we've been refreshing Twitter this whole time to see if any news pops up. Because we will probably get fucked over. We'll end the podcast, and news will probably break.
It's a real problem we have. So UFC 303, the first press conference was set for Dublin yesterday, Monday, and hours before they were supposed to get to the venue. I think it was something like 10 hours beforehand. Canceled. No explanation. And we still don't have an explanation. Conor said there was factors out of his control. Michael Chandler has been busy posting inspirational quotes on Instagram.
Do you think if there was like a threat of something, they would have said it?
No.
Like there was a boom threat?
No, I don't think they would say it. But also, I don't know.
In game?
Yeah. You know what I saw? I saw a plausible explanation for it, and it was that Ireland's had a lot of civil unrest lately.
Oh, well, again, between both sides?
Yeah, both, but between the whole political stuff, and I'm not going to pretend to know this first thing about the politics.
But I know it exists.
Correct. So they've had a lot of civil unrest, and Dublin was a big place for that, and Conor himself has played into some of that civil unrest with certain things he said about immigrants and stuff, so they're like, yeah, we're not going to, the rumor was that I saw somebody say that we're not going to go and the government didn't want them to have that press conference, which would make sense, and it makes sense why they wouldn't bring that up. Conor said it was factors outside of his control. But also, and I was kind of like, I was lukewarm on the subject, right? Like I was like, a lot of people were like, is the fight gonna happen? A lot of people were like, no way now, no way that they cancel the press conference. And I was kind of like, maybe not, but I don't know. This morning, they for one, they took UFC 303 off ESPN Plus. You cannot pre-order it anymore, and they also took down the free fights relating to Conor. So they took down Conor versus Nate Diaz too, and I think Conor versus Eddie Alvarez. And Michael Chandler and Conor are not really saying anything. And with the press conference being canceled, it looks like the fight might be off. And if the fight is off, Angel, what do you want to see? June 29th. They got 3 weeks. It's International Fight Week. They can't cancel it because that's International Fight Week. You know what I mean? They have to have something. And with such short notice, what could you make? You are Dana White. You're waking up, 6-pack. Doesn't matter that you're 52. You know what I mean? $1 billion in your home. You know what I mean? You're waking up. You're driving to the war room, okay? On your way there, you got a couple fights in your head. What are you thinking of, Angel?
Well, Pat Miletich is available right now. And Rampage Jackson has been training for a heavyweight fight that might not even happen. No, I'm just kidding.
I want to do Rampage Jackson. No, fuck that. I want to do Pat Miletich versus the cop that he shoved at the January 6th Pro. No, it's just...
You were gonna get us in trouble.
No, I don't.
In game.
I don't think Pat did. I don't think Pat technically did anything. But whatever. Go ahead.
Regardless, Josh. There's only one choice that I can think of that's very easy and potentially could happen is the Max Holloway BMF title on the line versus Chandler, which is like you can get away with it, but it's not what you want.
Yeah,
not what you want for a National Fight Week. Outside of that, I don't even know if you could. You're not going to remove any of your other guys off your cards. Unlikely. And if they did, I feel like the only person they would do would be Aspinall Blades, and that'd be a lot to ask out of them, especially because I'm sure Aspinall wants to fight in England.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure if there's like a great choice here. Also, we still don't know if what's going on. We don't know if it's a Conor issue. We really don't know if it's a Chandler issue. We don't even know if there's an issue to really begin with. We just know there's problems going on.
That is correct. We have no real insider information.
But at this moment in time, Ariel Helwani did confirm that, and granted, this is just as of now, the fight is currently not off.
Yeah. So as of now, the fight's not off. And Ariel Helwani came out on the MMA Hour. He said that he ran through the list of stuff, right? And it really doesn't take a fucking detective to kind of read between the lines of what he was saying. He said that it wasn't due to any legal issues. He said it wasn't due to any drug test issues. It wasn't due to any Conor just acting like a diva. It wasn't related to he went through all the possibilities. The only thing he did not say was injury. That's the only thing. And then even then later on in the show, he said that he found it interesting that Conor did not say that he would be there on June 29th in any of his stuff. So, look, I think with such short notice, if Conor McGregor truly is out of UFC 303, there's only a couple of different fights you could go ahead and do. I think Max Holloway, the BMF fight, like you said, I think makes so much sense. And even then, depending on how that one goes, Max could even turn around and fight in September, October, December. You know what I mean? Somewhere around there. 3 fights in a year. That's not a crazy thing for Max. You know what I mean? I also think that if they wanted to, they could throw the bag at Masvidal or Diaz since they're fighting the week after International Fight Week.
I did think about that too.
I think those are options. I think they could get an outside one, Charles do Bronx Oliveira at welterweight, a rematch with Chandler, 5 rounds. I think people would be into that. People love Oliveira, man.
It is, but it's pretty out there.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's International Fight Week, so there's only so many things you could do. Although, could you imagine if there's if they do some shit like, hey, Oliveira, Chandler, step up, 165 title. Would you be down with that?
It'd be pretty out there. I don't know how the people would feel.
I'd be down for that, but I don't know. I'm spitballing.
I don't know what they could do. I don't know genuinely, I don't know what they could possibly do to save this. Because at this moment in time, if this fight is off, it is fucked.
Yeah, and
it is fucked.
And it's only 3 weeks. It's not like, a month and a half or something. It's not going to... there's enough time to get a replacement, but not enough time.
If it was a month and a half, you could maybe convince Sean O'Malley, Merab Dvalishvili to get fight camp going, get him, because someone threw that out there, but I'm like, guys, that's not enough for a title fight for either of those guys.
No, it's not.
If you're a reasonable champ, you're not going to take that.
Exactly. And it's one thing for it to be 3 weeks is enough to
You can get away with heavyweights who don't have to cut weight. Maybe they're not in shape. That'd be the issue. But hey, it's fucking heavyweight. You don't need that many rounds probably.
But the issue is also you got to think about heavyweights that could headline International Fight Week, and John Jones is not coming to save you. Stipe Miocic is not walking through that door, buddy. Francis Ngannou, he's gone.
Yeah, dude. Stipe
Like,
needs
your big draws.
Stipe needs like a month in advance to leave the firehouse.
Yeah, exactly. He has to request time off from work in order to go ahead and fucking hang out, dude. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. And by the time this gets uploaded, I bet they would have already canceled.
It might be fucked. We might just be fucked. We might honestly just get Jamal Hill main event against Carlos. I
turn it into a fight night or something.
Credit, dude. Yeah, maybe. Honestly,
Yeah, they could do. What if this is the time that they're like, hey, Alex Bahia, you want to come up for a heavyweight fight? This is it. This is
you know something? I think they could do that. The issue is who's the other heavyweight. Do you think it's irrelevant? Because you could look in theory, you could call up Jouton, but the risk you take.
That would be horrific.
But the risk you take. That's what I'm telling you. What other heavyweight could you just call up?
Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis.
You saw me.
Derek
if
Lewis,
they make that
Bahia?
If they make that, I wouldn't have no. If they make that fight happen, they could get away with it.
Maybe keep Chandler on the card and give him like
find him someone.
Find him somebody.
You could literally give him Kevin Holland, Moicano. You could do a few guys. I'm sure a few guys would be down to do that.
Exactly. I think they could figure it out. It's just a matter if they want to get creative or not with it, you know. But I don't know. I think they're probably going to do. I could see them just canceling the event outright, honestly, bro, and just pushing international.
I don't think they're, but you know they refuse to do that. Yeah. You know something? I think if you can't get Poatan heavyweight debut, Derek Lewis, because you know they can pay Derek enough, and Derek's willing enough to do it.
Derek would do it, yeah.
And if Poatan is ready enough, and he think he can make it,
swang and bang. And hey, man, 3 weeks for them to make heavyweight.
Unless Josh, there's another choice I didn't even think about.
Okay, go ahead.
Yuri, Poatan, main event rematch.
They both have said that's what they want.
It would be. I'm sure that weight cut would be horrendous for both of them. But if they did it, fucking dogs, dude. Yeah. Fucking dogs.
That's actually a really great idea.
I think that might be your best choice. The issue is, I think you lose a little bit in quality of fight.
I agree. Alex said in an interview done on Saturday.
Unless Ankalaev is ready to go.
That'd be interesting, but I doubt it. I don't think Ankalaev could even get into the U.S. at this point.
Oof.
Actually, no.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, right. So apparently, Bahia said on Saturday that he said that he's looking to return in August.
Holy shit, Josh! It's coming in. Gegard Mousasi has just signed with the UFC. He's willing to fight at light heavyweight versus Alex Bahia for the title.
Jesus. Anyway, so Alex said, "Oh, speaking of guys that wanted to come over, the super off topic. UFC rejected Koji Horiguchi. Did you hear about that? Is that not fucked up?
I think we can end the show right now.
I know, dude. That's the way I feel, dude.
He's fighting Pettis. He's fighting Pettis on Sunday.
I know he is. But he's
giving the rematch.
Yeah, I know. But that's the whole thing. Is he was like, somebody asked about an interview recently. He's like, yeah, I wanted to go back really bad, but they said that they didn't have interest in promoting the flyweight division, and they also didn't really. They showed no interest in wanting to re-sign me, and I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. Anyways, though,
I hate that.
We're going to move on. I think we talked enough about it. Enough theory craft for something that's going to be over by the time it gets uploaded, I'm sure.
What if they just did bare knuckle in the UFC? Like they called out Mike Perry? What if they got Mike Perry versus Chandler?
Oh, fuck.
I don't know if that would sell.
That would be great, but I don't think
it could sell like that. It couldn't sell like that. Maybe like if you get him, by the way, I mean, if you could get a main event, make that a co-main event.
Hey, I'd be down.
Anyways, man.
We're going to go move on. These fights are announced. These fights are official.
By the way, Dana last week just randomly got on Instagram again out of fucking nowhere.
At midnight, he hopped on. Although I think, isn't Vegas 3 hours behind us? It's something crazy.
It's something like that.
Anyways, Dana White dropped his nutsack on us on Instagram.
He does this. I'll give him credit. He does do this a lot.
He got on. He announced the full main card for UFC Abu Dhabi. In the main event, we already knew some of these fights, but I'll run it down anyway. Corey Sandhagen, Umar Nurmagomedov, not a surprise.
Banger.
Not a surprise. Marlon Chito Vera, Divas Figueiredo, bantamweight banger. Mackenzie Dern and Lupi Godinez. I love me some Lupi. Love to see it. And then Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa. And also Nick Diaz in a 5-round welterweight fight in the year of our Lord 2024, taking on Vicente Luque, who is ranked number 14. The fact that you have Nick Diaz and Tony Ferguson on the same card but not against each other is promotional malpractice. But at the same time,
you could have even had Luque and fucking Chiesa run it back. It's been long enough.
It has been. I'm really mixed on both of these fights.
Can I be honest? I hate both of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I've said that finally, but
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. I mean,
I hate it because I know it could be better.
I don't think like as far as like these are not the worst fights you make from like them. Whenever they made Tony versus Patty, I'm like, dude, fuck off. Like what? Like, you know what you're doing with that.
And then you had Patty look like fucking Max Holloway out there for a second.
Exactly.
No, I was kidding.
Exactly. And now, but with these fights, it's like okay, Kies is a grappler who's lost 3 or 4 in a row. Luque has lost 4 of his last 5 by knockout.
Kies is older too. We didn't include that because he is getting up there now in age.
Yeah, Kies is in his late 30s. Luque just had a brain bleed. There's arguments like for these fights. So they're not the worst fights you could make under these circumstances. At the same time, it's like, dude, Nick Diaz is 40 years old and has not won in a fight since before Barack Obama won re-election. Before he won his second term. 2011 was his last win over BJ Penn. Now, granted, he had a no contest in there. You know, he had the weird fight with Lawler in there. He had the hiatus. He had a bunch of stuff. But still, it's been 13 years, brother.
I got to respect that he wanted to come back.
Well, not only that, you know, if you hate this fight, you guys should hear what he wanted to fight. He wanted to fight Colby Covington. He wanted to fight MVP. He wanted to fight Kevin Holland, which I actually don't hate that last one. And he also wanted to fight.
I think I would have been down for Holland because Holland's DTF to fight.
Yeah, I can't remember who else, but there's one other person in there that he wanted to fight. Just
probably Leon. Honestly,
he did want to fight Kamara for a minute there too. So there's other people. So it could have been worse, but I still don't like it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I watch it. You know, it's like you bring up Josh. This is like Taco Bell, but this is worse than fucking Taco Bell. Yeah. What's worse than fucking Taco Bell?
McDonald's.
Is this White Castle?
This is. I actually kind of like White Castle.
Is this Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box on a Jack.
Is this Long John Silver? Is this the shitty Long John Silver that no one goes to?
I mean,
I'm trying to find a fucking comparison.
Those root beer floats though are kind of.
The thing is, it's actually like this will destroy your stomach.
This will kill you. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this, dude. Apparently, and here's the
this
thing,
is not the KFC Guitar Hero box.
No, it's not. It's not the KFC Guitar Hero box. This is the fucking the Dune 2 theater box. Whenever you go through and it. You know what it is. Anyway, so yeah, these fights, man, I don't like either one of them as far as to what the alternatives could have been. They really fucked it up, and
but it's completely off topic. But you see, Wolverine versus Deadpool is going to do a bucket like that.
Yeah, I did. I liked that.
Let's scratch that. Continue.
Anyways, yeah, these fights are happening. We'll preview more, and because these fights are only.
By the way, less than 2 months earlier in the year, Abu Dhabi card, kind of something different for us. Yeah. They usually fall around October, September, November area. Right there.
Yeah, correct.
October is pretty much their year.
This is August 1st, I want to say. Let me just double check.
Yeah, that's kind of throwing me for a loop. So does that mean their Abu Dhabi deal is almost coming to an end?
August 3rd. No, they have a deal with Abu Dhabi.
Oh, they did an extension?
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
Oh, okay. Damn, they're on that LeBron contract.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere. Look, man.
They have a player option?
Yeah. Anyways, man. I don't really.
The team option, I guess, really.
Yeah, I don't like this. But anyways, it's under 2 months away, so we'll preview.
To get into more depressing news.
Deontay, the Bronze Bomber.
Bomb Squad.
There were bombs thrown on Saturday, none by him. Ends up being knocked out in the 5th round by Zhilei Zhang, who spun him around with a little shovel hook. Ends up landing another bomb of a right to put him down.
I mean, if Deontay Wilder threw bombs that night, they were like Brendan Schwab's comedy. They were non-existent.
Yeah, he bombed all right. Yeah. Anyways,
sorry, Brendan.
Yeah, he actually landed 1.3. Or what's the number? What's his IMDb score for his comedy special? 1.4. He landed 1.4 strikes around Deontay Wilder.
That sounds like a realistic number with how the fight looked.
And you know what the most heartbreaking part of it too?
By the way, you know what that knockout reminded me of?
What?
The DC and Jones one where DC spins.
Oh, that's a good pick. I saw some people who were like, why'd he spin around? I'm like, dude, he was fucking rocked.
He was concussed?
Dude, he thought he was in fucking LA fighting. What do you mean, dude? But yeah, Wilder, in that 5th round too, he came out landing some bombs too. I don't want to say he rocked Zhilei Zhang, but he landed some fucking flush right hands, and you're like, oh shit, Wilder might be bad. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
You're like,
it was so sad. It was probably, dude, by the way, in recent time, like, as far as like a big time boxer losing and the way, like, Loma losing was sad, against Devin Haney, but it was a close fight. But
it's like, dude.
But Deontay Wilder losing like that was just, it felt like I lost a friend.
Well, we are losing a friend because that's more than likely going to be Deontay Wilder.
Josh, it felt like the end of Rogue One. I knew I wasn't going to see them
We
again.
can't talk about Rogue One for the second week in a row. We can't
Josh,
spend any more time on it.
Shut the fuck up. It felt like the end of Rogue One because I knew I wasn't going to see them again. And there's a good chance. Actually, I already know that I'll never see that Deontay Wilder again.
I know, dude.
That's why I'm bringing up Rogue One.
I know.
That's why I'm being passionate. That's why.
I agree. Hey, man.
Don't make me have a Kanye moment on our fucking podcast. Which, by the way, Kanye went crazy on Twitter. We'll have to talk about that after the show.
Anyways. So, yeah, man. Deontay said going into the fight, just got to redirect
I was about to say it, but I had to hold it back.
Just to redirect it. Deontay said that he was going to retire if he lost. And he didn't just lose. He got annihilated in there. He has not retired officially. He didn't say anything, actually. Didn't attend the post-fight press conference. Didn't post on social media. But his mom came out and was like, Deontay, like, you had a great career. You have to hang it up. And I'm like, dude, if your mom's telling you to retire.
Dude, shout out mom.
Which, by the way, I mean this genuinely. Retire, dude. Like, it's not even like a sad thing. Like, he went out on his fucking shield.
He made fuck you money.
He
took care of his daughter.
All-time great. 10 title. You know, like the people who talk shit about Deontay Wilder. You know how many fucking guys have defended a title 10 times? Very few guys throughout boxing heavyweight history.
Do you know a number? Can you drop a number?
No, but it's a very exclusive club.
Well, kind of to talk about Deontay's career. Guy who hadn't been boxing that long, made it to the Olympics, won a bronze medal, ended up getting to the title picture in boxing, won a title, defended the title, ended up being in some of the biggest boxing matches of our generation, of maybe even all time at this point. On top of that, kind of reviving American boxing, I think, to an extent, and heavyweight American boxing. And even, like, if I'm being honest, Josh, I remember that year that Canelo fought Gennady. I can't remember if it was the first, second fight. And then the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder fight happens not too long after.
2018 then.
Yeah. Those years right there, I was like, boxing's fucking back.
Yeah, I agree with you. Especially that,
and it took a little bit to get there, but it's fucking back.
It did take a lot of time, but I really do think that I do the same thing, dude. I look at that first Wilder Fury fight as the start of American heavyweight boxing becoming a thing. And not even just American heavyweight boxing, kind of like boxing as a whole. Because we had a couple of years there where, like, the end of Floyd's career, after that Floyd Manny fight in 2015, there were like 3 or 4 years there where nobody gave a fuck.
We were in limbo.
And we had the Conor Floyd fight, but that was more of an exhibition than anything.
Yeah.
And we had, as far as like serious boxing, it was just kind of like a really big hole in the sport outside of Canelo and Floyd.
That was like modern day Inoki versus Ali, really.
Yeah. It was, yeah. But
better, but you know.
Wilder Fury, man, such an incredible rivalry. And I really think that rivalry took whatever prime they both had, especially that third fight where they both got knocked down 2-3 times each. And they were both willing to die out there.
It's kind of crazy, getting hit in the head is not good for you.
No, it's not. But look, dude, hell of a career for Deontay Wilder. If he never fights again, all-time great. I'd love to, if he takes one more fight, who do you want to see him fight? I don't want to see Joshua. I'm past that. I think I know who you're going to say, so go ahead and say it.
Francis Ngannou.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's because it's the two biggest power punchers of all time in both respective sports in recent time. How could you not want to see it?
Exactly. And even though they both lost in horrific fashion,
it kind of makes sense right now, actually, for them to box. It sounds kind of wild, but
yeah, it does make a lot of sense.
One coming off 2, which I know he's 0-2, but
technically 0-2. I think a lot of people thought he won that Fury
he's
fight.
He might be 1-1 in our hearts.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't have an issue with it, but outside of that, I don't want to see Deontay Wilder fight anymore.
Yeah, I don't think you should ever probably get any other.
As far as any actual contenders. But if a fun fight with Ngannou comes out, let's do it.
Why not? So be it.
Yeah. Anyways, man, this is a quick one. Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury 2 officially going down December 21st in Saudi Arabia. The rematch is official, announced by Turkey LL Sheikh, His Excellency, earlier this week.
By the way, did you see we might be getting B-Ball and Better B-Ball on the same card?
I did see that.
Which doesn't even sound right.
No. I mean, dude, hey, man, I will say this. Saudi Arabia, maybe their human rights abuses they're not great.
On top of that, Josh,
but man,
they're still heavily working on Canelo Bud Crawford to maybe even happen this year.
Which I'm down, man. I really am down.
DTF.
Better than fucking him fighting another mandatory I don't give a fuck about, basically.
By the way, Mickey Gall last week, DTF Fighter of the Week. Just thought about that.
No, it's got to be Poirier, dude.
It
has to be Poirier, dude. Come on, man. Did you genuinely think Poirier was gonna have that good of a performance?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
I didn't think he was gonna. You thought it'd be 2-2 going into the 5th?
I didn't think he's gonna walk through. But I literally said, if there was any guy in the fucking division to even have a fucking chance to just show up and do it, it's gonna be him.
Fine, you can give it to Mickey Gall. I'll give mine to Dustin Poirier.
It could be both.
Yeah, I guess you're right. DTF fighters of the week.
DTF fighters of the week.
Anyways, Usyk Fury 2. Excited to see it. Now,
I actually scratched that. It was probably Deontay Wilder. He just went out on the
shit.
shield.
He did go out on a shield. Yeah.
Daniel Dubois.
Yeah.
DTF fighter of the week.
Ray Ford? No, it's just
Ray
Ford. Anyways, if it's official, I mean, we knew this was gonna happen, so I'm not that shocked about it. But I'm excited for it. But it's literally 6 months away, so I'm not gonna do too many previews. But it is official, so that's something. Anyways, man, last piece of news, and it's not even much of news. It's more of a mini preview. The Ultimate Fighter is officially back. The Ultimate Fighter season 32. Team Grasso, Team Shevchenko. It's going to start airing today, actually, as we're filming. So we're going to go and give a mini preview, man.
June 4th.
It was filmed in March. What are some of the fighters you want to watch? Give me your thoughts on the season, man. Give me a mini preview of Tough 32.
Well, look, I didn't even know this until we're looking at the wiki page now, but 14 different nationalities. So you'll have a lot of different cultures clashing there, a lot of different languages. Curious to see how that dynamic is. In the past, I've looked into some of these guys coming into Tough. I actually haven't this time around, but I do think featherweights versus not versus middleweights, but the featherweights and middleweights is a good dynamic. It should be fun. So I'm excited in that sense, man. I that's something that's interesting, and also on top of that, the last time we had female coaches, it was Nunes and Pena,
yeah,
and their dynamic at coaching was way different because it felt like Nunes' wife Nina was coaching the whole time, and Amanda was there more or less for some cheerleading. And Juliana, like, full on felt like she was like preparing these guys for title fights.
Yeah, I agree.
Putting in a lot of time, a lot of research, a lot of effort, really caring for her fighters. She was really committed to winning.
Yeah.
Which that's always an interesting thing, seeing how these guys and gals come in and kind of their coaching. Because, dude, we have had some bad coaches. I actually heard Brock was actually a pretty good coach.
Brock was a good coach from the standpoint of like
I heard
not technical coaching, but kinds of like being a good. Like, he was there.
I know Forrest was a horrendous coach. Some people.
That's what I've heard as well.
Yeah. Who else I've been kind of?
I've heard mixed things about Tito Ortiz. Because Tito said a bunch of stupid shit, but he was there for.
I heard Volk was a good coach.
Volk was a great coach.
I heard Brian was pretty bad,
bad,
but he was a cool guy to have around, but just not the coach.
Connor, I've heard, was a great coach the first time, terrible coach the second time. Wonder why.
Sure,
yeah, I mean,
and I'm sure Chandler was a good coach.
It's a mixed bag a lot of the time.
Yeah,
but look, dude,
it always seems like one is good and one is bad.
It tends to be the case. I think both these gals will actually do a pretty good job. I'm very excited for the trilogy, which is currently being targeted.
I'm
for the
excited
Las
to
Vegas
see
Sphere.
what kind of assistant coaches. Sometimes they bring in some fun guys.
They do.
Like Chandler had Bader there.
Yeah, Ryan Bader, Bellator heavyweight champ.
GSP brought in a lot of cool people. Connor just brought in his coaching staff. Like literally his staff. So I'm curious to see because Grosso's cool with a lot of Mexican fighters. I'm curious to see maybe Yair shows up. Maybe Brandon comes in.
That'd be fun. I can see Brandon.
Maybe Diego Lopez sneaks in, makes a little showing. Yeah. Valentina's in. I don't know.
Her sister, Antoniva.
Her sister, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's
I don't know a lot of her training outside of that, but
she's kind of a nomad, right? She's kind of all over the place, right? She trains a little everywhere, right?
Yeah, she's been out there in Jackson Wink a fair bit. She's also training a lot in Kazakhstan too. She kind of goes back and forth, like you said. So I don't know, but it should be fun, man. Some of the people to watch. You and I both knew about this guy, Guillermo Torres, 37-year-old former Olympic wrestler from Mexico, 5-1 as a pro. Should be an interesting guy. I don't know about good.
By the way, coming off a loss going into this.
Yeah, correct. He was actually probably one of the main reasons he got it. One of Cejudo's main training partners for his fight with Aljo, and I'm assuming being coached by Cejudo in general. So
probably, or at least that team out there
down at Fight Ready. So. A couple of guys to watch. Edwin Cooper Jr. out of Jackson Wink is actually really good. I did some whenever I had to write about this once previously. He's pretty good. Paddy McCrory out of Ireland is another guy to watch. It could be fun.
SBG question mark or not?
I believe an SBG guy. Don't quote me on that though. Let me double check it. He's 4-1.
I'm assuming a lot of these guys don't have big records. That's going to be the recent trend with these tough guys.
Yeah.
I feel like in the past, you used to get guys with like pretty sizable records. He's out of Fight Academy Ireland.
Yes, he is. So not an SBG guy. So
I wonder who else comes out of there.
I don't know. I'd have to look more into
it. I'll look it up later.
yeah, man, it should be fun. I mean, we're the only people who at this point talk about the Ultimate Fighter. So, yeah, I'll watch it. Why not?
I'll check
Fuck
it out
it.
tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah. Anything else we can talk about before we go and close out?
No, man, I'm just excited to come back next week because June is stacked. This is, like we said, this is one of the actually in recent time one of the better Apex. Well, not it's actually not even an Apex card, but I guess one of the better fight nights.
Mhm.
Next week is an Apex card, which probably should have been on the road because those guys are going to actually entertain us.
I mean, that's going to be an insane main event. The rest of the card, from my understanding, is that the one's pretty empty.
No, man, there's stuff there. There's stuff.
There's stuff there. It's
Dude.
not as good as this one, though, overall.
Yeah.
Pretty high stand, though. I love Brady. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the show for this week. I'm at Josh Evanoff on Twitter, at Angel Ortega _01 at Courtside Sound for all things relating to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace and butt grease. No mouse click.